for another astrological energy forecast. This will be for the week of January 13th to the 19th of 2025. Thank you for clicking on to my video. If you're a returning member, subscriber, or viewer, welcome back, Soul Family. It's good to see you guys again. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for all your likes, your shares, your comments, subscribes, super thanks, and donations. I truly appreciate them all. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. It's good to see a new face here. Please keep in mind, okay, that I do pull oracle cards and some tarot cards during this astrological energy forecast just to tap into the energy briefly, okay, overly. And please know that these are collective oracle tarot readings, okay? They're not going to resonate with everyone. And if it's not resonating with you, it just means I'm not picking up on your energy, which is perfectly okay. Okay. And if any areas of legal, law, finance, health, mental health pop up, know that I am not an expert in those areas, nor do I claim to be. And if I mention them at all, it is because either it's what my intuition is picking up on, or it's literally on the cards themselves. So please use your own level of discernment. And if it truly resonates for you, speak to those experts in those areas. I am also the author, B. Ulrich, of both fairy tales in my hand here. The Princess and Her Inner Voice, which is a fairy tale written for children about their intuition, what it is, how it speaks to them, and how if they listen to it, it can help them to overcome all obstacles, help them to heal from all traumas, as well as get them to their happy ending, whichever way that looks for them. It is a very self-love and self-worth based fairy tale. As well as The Dark High Priestess and The Prophecy of the Queen of the Unseen. This is a fairy tale written for adults about healing and overcoming from spiritual warfare and narcissistic abuse from family members and friends, and how to keep that inner flame lit despite any adversity you may be going through or experiencing, that no matter how dire your situation may seem, that you always have a choice and that you're never alone, okay? There's always benevolent beings that are around you just waiting for you to give them permission for them to provide you with guidance and to intervene and to intercede on your behalf so that way you can fulfill your soul's purpose in this lifetime. Both these fairy tales are written in the bard format, so think Dr. Seuss meets Grimm's fairy tales. They are written and illustrated in such a way to heal and appeal to your inner child as you read them. They're short, they're sweet, they inspire hope, and they make you feel good as you read them. The audiobooks have been released for both books. They'll be attached to this video for your convenience. However, it can also be found on my channel. If you would like to purchase the physical copy of either books, you can find them on online retailers such as Amazon, Walmart, and Barnes & Noble, just to name a few. The Princess and Her Inner Voice is in its second edition print, which means that the autographed edition, as well as my products, can be found on my website, which is www.aspiraltotheself.com. All the information will be in the description box below for your convenience, as well as all of my social media platforms and pages, so that way you do not get scammed by people or pages pretending to be me. As always, I begin each forecast or tarot reading with a prayer. I call upon God, Bandra, Great Goddess Morgan 23, Lou, the archangels, my ancestors, and the seen unseen. Please only allow in this collective reading and forecast what I call upon, which is high vibrational energy and frequency. If any lower vibrational entities, beings, or energy try to come through or try to ask, project, open a portal, remote view, or be a monitoring spirit, in the past, the present, or the future, I ask that you block, bind, and blind, and immediately return to sender, in which I give you full consent to intervene and to intercede on my behalf in whichever way you deem fit. Please allow me to see what you want the collective to know, provide clear, concise messages. If any tried to abuse technology in any kind of way, in the past, the present, or in the future, by trying to take a screenshot or trying to ask, project, open portal, remote view, or be a monitoring spirit in this set, I ask that you block, bind, and blind, and immediately return to center, which will give you full consent to hold them accountable and bring them to justice in your way. Please protect me, this channel, the video, and the viewers as I deliver this divinely guided message. Any curses, hexes, evil eye, black magic, witchcraft bindings, let they be dissolved, transmuted, and interviewed by the All High. The sinner's mask be ripped off, they'll be unable to hide. All their lies, deceit, and ill intentions will become exposed and publicly known. So as you can see, there's already been many disruptions. There's a lot going on in the energy right now, okay? I am going to do today's special a little differently than how I normally do them, just because I feel like there's a lot to be addressed. Not just on the weekly or the overall, just the energy is very heavy right now, and there's a lot going on, and there's just a lot that we need to know about, okay? There's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of, you know, that way and this way. I know you see my coon hat here. Like, see, it even has a tail. But like, say you have parts of the country that are under fire. You have, and it's not just California isn't the only state in the United States that has experienced forest fires here recently, okay? But then you have the other part of the U.S. that's under snow. Like where I live, we've had like 18 inches. Like my kids were supposed to go to school Monday, and they've used every single one of their 5 snow days that they get each year this week. Like they haven't went back. There's been a lot of isolation. There's been a lot of delayed travel for people, traffic, accidents, all the things that come with snow. So if you do not live in areas that have snow or blizzards, here's what it can mean as far as a natural disaster for people. They can have their water lines frozen, okay, so they can go without hot water and water. The electricity can go out because that's happened in the past. Like in my city, we've had people go at least a week and a half without electricity during the blizzard because of just how it affected everything, okay? People not able to go to the stores, and you have that like white people meme of we go buy all the eggs, the bread, the butter, the milk, right before we know we're gonna get snow, things like that. People unable to go get groceries for a week, that's where that fear stems from, because like you can't go anywhere. People unable to go to their jobs, or people who are forced to go to their jobs, and the roads not being conducive to travel. They can get in accidents, just all different kinds of calamity, and when you start getting like increments of like 18 inches, say if you have like decks, or you have certain property that's old, it can cause damage, just things like that. There's so many things that can occur. So not only is California, what I'm trying to say, going through some kind of either natural disaster or calamity, there's many people out there that are at this time, okay? And that's why I wanted to address it in this video, because I feel like I've been feeling the energy, but also, in the spiritual community, it's been all a buzz about like what's going on, because it's hard to be a spiritual person, okay, who's aware of everything and not see a pattern, okay? Because you've got astrologically speaking, and then you have numerically. Okay, we're in the time period of 2025. 2024 was the time of karma, the balancing of the scales, okay? But then to bring about abundance for those who deserve it. It's like the balancing the scales for abundance, because many people have had their abundance taken, stolen, siphoned, things like that, and it was the balancing of the scales. 2025 in numerology is the year of 9, which is closures, which is ending of cycles. It is new beginnings. It's awakening, okay? And we've dealt with, the United States as a nation has dealt with a lot of calamity just within our own borders at the same time, okay? You had that mountain town on the East Coast that, every single resident lost their home due to a hurricane, okay? You've got, the popular one right now is, we've had the same thing happen in Hawaii. We've had the same thing happen in California, where all of a sudden it's a blaze and people lose their homes. But it's like we are so desensitized because of how much calamity we have faced just in our generation, okay? I'm a millennial, and I can tell you just my generation alone has seen so much calamity that we're desensitized to it. And I mean, like, it's not like we lack empathy. It's just that, like, you have to detach or you'll be overwhelmed with sadness and grief for just everyone. The empathy alone would crush you, right? And it's hard to see all this going on with what's going on astrologically. Astrologically, okay, it also reflects what it does numerically, okay? So the year of 9 being closures, things like that, awakening, okay? Astrologically, we are in a new era, okay, because you have Pluto in Aquarius for the next 19 years, okay? It ended that 15, 16-year cycle where it was in Capricorn. It was a karmic cycle for many people. Most acted cardinal signs. But now we are in a new era, okay? So it may look like the world is falling apart. It may look like, it's the end of times, but really it's the birth of the new. Old things have to be removed, burned away, cleansed out in order to make way for the new, okay? But astrologically speaking, in the sky, okay, it predicts that there's going to be a lot of events physical events to garner change. One example would be Luigi, okay? That was predicted astrologically, that there's going to be some kind of change, some kind of leader that comes along and seizes the moment to essentially enact their actions to garner some kind of change that would be unfavorable to whoever was in power in the physical realm. Okay, so like I'm not talking God, I'm not talking about, you know, any kind of entity. I'm talking about like physically who's the power at be, who has the most wealth, the most power. Okay, it would be unfavorable to them. Luigi, essentially, what he did with the unaliving of that CEO, there's been a huge movement that's happened after that, okay? And now we have all these fires, we have blizzards, we've got things like that, and you would think, oh my God, it's the end of times, you know? And like a lot of people's first thoughts, you know, like when the fires went out, you know, started coming out in California, was karma, judgment, okay? Like God's wrath, because in the energy, like with the collective readings and things like that, it is very, very heavy with God's vengeance. And not only is God's vengeance, the ethers just in themselves, all the entities, all the beings, vengeance. Because so many people were trying to abuse their power, trying to open that door to the spiritual realm. I mean, think about it. Like you go to a bookstore, any bookstore, and you can find so many different kinds of grimoires that will teach you how to do any number of kinds of witchcraft. Okay, there was a reason why certain knowledge has been hidden. There was a reason why certain knowledge wasn't just privy to everyone. Okay, there's a reason for that. But we are the age, the era of information. Okay, and you can go get any kind of grimoire and learn about something. And what do people do when they get upset? When they you know, feel helpless, or they want to reclaim some kind of power in their lives without doing the work. You know, like trying to cut corners. When they're in that low vibrational state of not knowing who they are or what their purpose is, they go and try to figure out how to hurt someone else. Like, how can I curse somebody? How can I bend somebody to my will? Like, if you go on any kind of, like, that's why I'm not part of, like, any of those social media groups. It's because that's literally all you see. How can I curse someone? How can I force someone to love me? You can't. Like, you can't. You can temporarily, like, sway someone, and then when they awake, there's going to be violence. Like, you could literally lose your life for what you have done to somebody, because when they awake, you know, from whatever kind of spell you put them under, or, you know, spiritually graped and manipulated them, they're going to be very unhappy, and their spirit's not going to sit very well, and you don't know who backs who, right? Like, you don't know whose ancestors they have, you don't know who their spiritual team is, okay? You don't know that. And right now in the collective energy, it's very, very heavy with God's vengeance. Karma, which again goes into closure, ending of cycles, new beginnings. But then also, what happens when people go through calamity, when they have a lot of destruction and, you know, hardship in their life? What do? When they lose everything, no matter what their beliefs were prior, what do? They turn to God. They turn to a higher power. They pray. People who've never prayed a day in their life, like when they get closer to deathbed, they get sick, they lose all their wealth, they pray to God. And in the collective readings, like that's happening now, the people who were pro-Satan, pro-Lucifer, or pro-lower vibrational entity that were sacrificing people to, or, you know, that gave them some kind of wealth by doing shady things, okay, like now those same people, when they were abandoned by whatever it is that they summoned or tried to work with to cut corners in their low vibrational state, now they're pleading to God, and they're getting no answer. They're getting no mercy. You know, it's a form of judgment, yes, but what also needs to be, which would go into awakening. You know, 2025 is the year of a mass awakening, when people are going to be awakened, and it unfortunately comes about through hardship, through devastation, with people who refuse to see. Like, these are people who probably had a lot of, you know, plethora of messages of, you know, listening to their intuition and things like that, and they didn't, and it takes a hard event. And I'm not just talking about like the natural disasters. Typically, when you go through the dark night of the soul, you have some kind of hardship. You have something an event that really shakes you up. And right now, we're just seeing it at a mass level, okay, where many people are having their foundation shook. They're having their entire worlds, you know, disintegrating to make way for the new, because they wouldn't. It's like they had to be uncomfortable. They had to be forced to do something different. They were warned to do something different, and they didn't. It's like we're just having a mass awakening. But again, it's a fated event. Like, Astrologically speaking, these events are fated. We have another one towards the end of this week, okay? Where, I mean, it's on the 19th, but we have another event that is fated, okay? And it's just more action. There's a lot of actions to garner change, and it's very shocking actions. So what I want you to think about, okay, when it comes to this stuff, when it comes to the natural disasters, things like that, well, one, be grateful for what you have, because it could always be worse, okay? Two, be empathetic to people. You know, they've lost their livelihoods or homes. How would it feel to be in their shoes? But three, look at the bigger picture here. Notice the pattern. Notice what's going on. Because you've had the people who have fed the powers that be on the physical realm, like all the ones who have the money, all the wealth, okay, that have held power for however many years. Their time is up, and they don't want to lose that power. We're talking about the people that fed off of sex, and the pedophilia, the sex rings, okay, the deception, the selling of souls, the drugs, the alcohol, whatever. They've ruled the masses by going through that. Now that we are in a new era that's essentially an energetic shift to high vibration, these people do not want to lose control. However, they're not dumb. They're going to switch teams. And this has happened in history before, which is why I'm talking to you about it. It's happened in history before, where, what you're seeing, some of these instances are karma, are God's wrath. But then you also have other people who have been in power for forever, who has the technology, who has the money, who has the resources to mimic those as well. Okay, because like California, it's discussed that there was a blue laser that started all those fires. Same as Hawaii. New Jersey, we had some weird, some drone that was hovering that caused people panic. We've had a lot of weird instances going on, okay, that people couldn't explain. The powers that be that are mimicking these natural disasters as well. It's for the same goal though, okay? Fear and a direction of the energy. Okay, so like God, his wrath, like the karma would be to gear people towards awakening, to changing their lives to be better, right? But if you're mimicking that, if you're a power that be that's trying to mimic that, there's rumors of the whole one world order, religion, things like that. Again, in history, this has already happened. Think the Catholic Church. Getting people to believe in a religion, not saying that Catholicism is bad, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying people who abuse religion and spirituality to benefit themselves. They spread some kind of narrative. They try to get people to convert, okay? And then they do whatever they want. They do whatever kind of atrocities on the, on the back end. Like think of, you've had the Crusades, think of how many people have died in the name of spirituality or their religious beliefs. Think of that, okay? We've already had that. We've already had where, people get awakened to God, but then somebody comes along and decides they can even infiltrate the churches, have these powerful positions that are supposed to be of God and be evil as fuck, right? And work about their own agenda. We're seeing that now, okay, where they're mimicking the natural disasters to garner some change. And why I say that would be my facts for that would be that little mountain town that was ransacked by a hurricane. Months prior to that, there was a lawsuit from the residents where a company was trying to come in to mine something for some kind of, it was some kind of element to use for their device or some kind of microchip or something like that. And the residents fought back and said no. Coincidentally, 2 months later, every single one of them lost their homes to a hurricane. Now, man cannot recreate the energy needed for a hurricane, but it does make you wonder, right? And then you got LA. All those people just lost their homes. And then, you only think of the celebrity ones, you're like karma, right? But there's many people who just had regular family homes that were just regular people, just like you and me, that lost their homes as well. But then also, this is at a time period where, California's laws, made it to where the insurance company couldn't raise their rates. And then therefore insurance companies have left California, and many of these people that lost their homes also lost their coverage, their insurance coverage. So all of that money to rebuild will be out of their own pockets. So it's things to consider like that. What's at play here? Look at the pattern. I'm not going to direct you on what you think about, but I'm going to ask you to look at it, because you will be receiving your own intuitive downloads. And I am going to pull some cards for it. Okay, I may do like an in-depth reading later, but just some guidance. Spirit, give us some guidance for all these natural disasters that you want the collective to know about. What would you like the collective to know about when it comes to these natural disasters? What do you want the collective to know about these natural disasters that are occurring? What do you want the collective to know about these natural disasters that are occurring? So we have here optimism through this conflict, okay? To show compassion. Again, like there's a bigger reasoning behind all of this. You have Archangel Ezekiel here, compassion, forgiveness, forgiving what has happened, forgiving yourself, showing others compassion, okay? But that you're going to have optimism. Again, we're in the year of 2025. So that means closures of old cycles and beginning of new cycles. And that's what this card's saying. There's going to be a new beginning here, an optimism for a fresh start after all of this conflict. I don't typically do tarot, but I figured I might need more info. What is there to be optimistic about with this conflict? To make a choice, to be happy, and what to invest in. So again, like there's sunnier days that are coming. We are closing out cycles, and we're in a new era. So that means some things have to give way so new things can be born. So you'll have the optimism after this conflict, okay? And it's ultimately to essentially get you to make a choice, be adaptable, and to be happy. That gratitude attitude, invest in it. That gratitude attitude to find your happiness, finding the simple moments to be happy in. Think about the world right now. Think about how we're so consumed with technology, we're so consumed with instant gratification that it's hard to be in that gratitude attitude, because you're so consumed with consumerism, materialism. What does someone have that I don't have? I mean, in the collective tarot readings, that's literally what has driven these people to do atrocities to other people. Why do they get to have that and I don't? Like a lot of loss and lack mentality, not being grateful for what you have. It's understanding what you do have and being grateful for it. The universe loves when we are grateful for things. Okay, the universe loves when we're grateful that we have food, that we have shelter, that we're not out in the negative degree weather, in 18 inches of snow, or that we have water, we have food, we have like things like electricity, we have heat, right? Like that we're fine, that we'll make it through another day. Gratitude attitude, because that's going to take you where you need to be. And that message actually comes out later in the week, is that gratitude attitude is going to take you where you want to be. So that's what Spirit wants you to know, okay, to invest in it. To get creative. When you start getting this anxiety, fear, and despair, thinking that the world is going to collapse, okay, to use your sacral chakra energy, use your creativity, create something, use your inner child. I think it's, thank you, Spirit. Like, I think it's, coincidental that I'm wearing my little coon hat here when I'm talking about the inner child. Okay, let your inner child out, create something, give your soul freedom of expression through like art, through singing, through dancing, to transmute those wounds into blessings for you, okay? When you're seeing all of this calamity, or if you're going through it, okay? And really wish big, like really, really wish big, okay? Because you're being given the news here that to speak your truth, but also that you're going to get some kind of communication of the truth about what's going on with all of this. Okay, what's going on with all of it, and how it's the end, it's a collapse, and why it's the end and why it's the collapse, and the many opportunities, the many different ways to collapse the old so the new can be reborn. Okay, very short, very simple. I won't go any further than that. Okay, So before we get into the actual astrological forecast for this week, I have a brief message from our sponsors at Africanjoyflix. I hope you enjoy this message. Aspire to the Self is partnering with the joyful and fun African greeting video creators at Africanjoyflix, whose videos will surely impress you, your friends, and your family no matter your occasion or holiday. These videos are fun, unique, and are fully customizable that can support any language in the world. If you use the link that is in the description box or the coupon code capitalized WH20 at the checkout, you will save 20% off your purchase. In a world where everyone is focused on the material, give the gift of an experience that will provide you, your friends, your family, your coworkers with a plethora of memes, laughs, and fun for a lifetime. What I'm about to play for you is just an example of the many different ways that these videos can be customized.
Hello, introducing the Irish with a sparrow.
I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, so let's get to it. So now that I, addressed some of the concerns, what's going on astrologically, what's going on in the world, what's going on in the US, things like that. Let's get into the background energies, okay? The retrograde energies. We currently have Uranus in retrograde, which will be in retrograde until January 29th of 2025. Uranus is in a sign of Taurus, which is its detrimental sign, okay? Which means we may feel like we may struggle to be our most authentic self in a practical way. We may feel like we're too much of things, or that if we are truly ourselves, we won't get where we want to be. So we try to squash ourselves down. We try to make ourselves small, okay? But through the end of this, we're going to realize that we don't care if people like us or not, that what is meant for us will be there, and all that is not meant to be there for us will fall away. Jupiter retrograde, which will be in retrograde until February 4th of 2025. Jupiter is, the planet for expansion, of luck, of knowledge, of travel. But it's currently in the sign of Gemini, which Gemini is all about communication. It's all about being curious and asking many questions. However, it is the fall sign for Jupiter. So that just means like right now we're about the process versus like making some kind of definitive decision when it comes to expanding. Right now we're in that process of asking many questions, really delving into our curiosities, trying to figure out the plan or what we should do in order to expand. But also this is also a time for introspection and soul searching to figure out how to be further into our soul's purpose, so getting that information. Then we have Mars retrograde, which will be in retrograde until February 23rd of 2025. Mars is currently in the sign of Cancer. It started its retrograde journey through Leo, but now it is in Cancer. So when it was in Leo, it was about creating something specific, giving our soul that freedom of expression, right? Because it was going to give us some kind of blessing, or it just needed to be created, and we need to have that innocent courage to go about doing it, to go about making it. But now that we are in Cancer, it's about finding strength through our tenacity, again, through these disasters, finding strength, resiliency through this time period here. Now, the weekly energies. I do pull some cards for these just to get the heads up. Now we have two main events that's going to occur this week for the entirety of the week. So like the theme for the entire week, okay? So from the 13th to the 19th, there will be an intense energy to pursue our ambition of initiating the changes that are needed to transmute a wound into power that may be stressful, as our intuition will focus on bringing emotional healing to the home, as we'll need to find strength through our tenacity to overcome this obstacle. Later in the week, we'll be successful in taking the lead and being very clear and efficient in our communications. Spirit, tell us about this wound that the collective is transmuting into power when it comes to pursuing their ambitions and healing the home. What does the collective need to know about? Yeah, you're completing this. This is like some kind of completion. You have successfully completed healing whatever wound it is that was blocking you from your abundance or blocking your blessings. Okay, you're successfully healing from that. That's because you're listening to your intuition. You're going to be provided with those blessings, okay? Archangel Haniel, joy, blessings, intuition. The number 15 could be significant, okay? But you've successfully transmuted this wound. Okay, now you get to pursue your ambitions because you're at the finish line of transmuting whatever it was that was blocking you from reaching your blessings. And now your intuition is going to speak to you about it, and you're going to be essentially, you're going to take the lead here, be in that leadership role, and you're going to be efficient and clear in your communication with other people as you pursue your ambitions. Also, during this time period, we may be wanting to pursue our ambitions, be fully committed to reaching our goals, of being very original and non-conventional. However, we may struggle to be our most authentic self. We will be able to find strength through our tenacity to find stability and balance, as this is a character-affirming lesson essential for our growth. So essentially, this is like needed for us. Like, you will not benefit from protection for this. This is like, like how diamonds are made. You go through pressure to be your most powerful and valuable self, okay? You're a diamond here. You're going through a character-affirming lesson that's going to overall, aid your growth, but who you are as a person. Towards the end of the week, we'll receive messages in mystical ways that we are about to undergo a powerful revolution in our lives, in which we'll need to be curious, quick-witted, and we'll have success being able to communicate effectively. What is this character-affirming lesson, Spirit? What is this character-affirming lesson? What is this character-affirming lesson? So we have your ancestors here that are teaching you how to center your energy and to practice self-care in order to bring about balance when you go through this new beginning of your transformation, okay? So this character-affirming lesson is essentially self-care. Self-care is self-love, okay? And you're going through this powerful revolution. You're going through an inner transformation here, and your ancestors are teaching you this. It's like, it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Whatever you may go through this week that may provide you a little bit of stress, a little bit of pressure, it's for your benefit. It's to mold you in who you need to be, make you more resilient. So that way, when you get your blessings and things like that, you know how to handle it and it doesn't get taken from you. Like, a perspective that you could have would be, imagine some of the things that you went through earlier on in your life and how devastating they were, and how now if the same thing happened to you, you wouldn't be as phased, right? Like, because of what's happened to you before, you build up your tenacity, you build up your resiliency, and now, like, any kind of obstacle that comes your way is like a minor obstacle to you, no matter what it is. It's minor, you're able to see through it, that's just part of life, like that. You'll always recover, right? Like, you always get through. You develop that trust in yourself that you can overcome everything, right? That comes your way. You can overcome it, that you can get through it. You're a badass because you've got the history, you got the receipts. You're a badass, right? That you can do it, okay? Practice self-care, center your energy, because you're going to have the optimism here. The archangels here are telling you that you're going to have a new beginning once you undergo this transformation. So towards the end of the week, so January 18th to January 19th, there will be a big opportunity at the end of the week to develop our talents naturally in 3 areas of our lives: pursuing our ambitions, communicating effectively about our curiosities as we undergo a powerful revolution in our lives while we may struggle to be our most authentic self. Our intuition will communicate what details we need to focus on in order to bring balance, but also peace to our relationships as well, like how we can bring peace, the details that we need. Spirit, what is this? What are the details that the collective needs to focus on in order to bring balance in their life? What is the details to focus on in order to bring balance to their lives at the end of the week? What is the details? Again, getting out of that, like, centering your energy, practicing self-care, okay? Because you may be imbalanced. Again, your ancestors show up. Your ancestors are saying that you may be imbalanced here as you go through this transformation. So your intuition is going to be able to tell you what details you need to focus on in your life to bring balance, so you're not imbalanced as you go through this transformation, this inner transformation, but outer transformation, especially when it comes to bringing peace to your relationships, but also to self, okay? We have Venus that is in Pisces right now. But during this week, we have Venus that will be like in function with Saturn. And with that being said, it means like we're going through some kind of revolutionary changes with our relationships, okay? Because Saturn is about like karmic lessons, about life lessons, things like that. But Venus being in that, Pisces energy, dreamy love, okay? It was about our intuition being very, very heightened, you know, especially through that 111 portal. So the daily energy. We have on January 13th, the sun will trine Uranus and we'll have that full moon in Cancer. Keep in mind, full moon energies last 72 hours, so 24 hours before, 24 hours after. We may struggle with being our most authentic self. However, we are in a new period of pursuing our ambitions as our intuitive focus will be to bring emotional healing to our home. We're being given a warning on this full moon here. Someone may ask you for help. This will be a person from your past. Keywords that were sticking out were colleagues and friends, but this could pertain to exes and family as well. People that are not in your life anymore that you have cut off, okay? But it was specifically notating colleagues and friends as they are unstable, okay? You're being advised not to take any risk with these individuals, okay? As their instability can be transferred to you. So again, this is like the abundance transfer and things like that. Many people are going through karma. And the individuals who are reaching out to you are those individuals who are undergoing karma. They have to learn some kind of lesson. That unfortunately they have to go through what they're going through because they refuse to learn it any other way. And this is the way that they have to learn it. And you would be getting in the way of their karma, which means that's good. Their instability is going to transfer onto you. So just be very careful and mindful of that. January 14th, the moon will be in Leo and the Venus will square Jupiter. Our intuitive focus will be to take some time out to play and to focus on all the things that brings us joy, laughter, and makes us smile. Being curious and asking many questions will assist in overcoming an obstacle of being independent and unconventional in our future plans when it comes to our relationships and our finances. Our intuition will be more reliable than common sense. January 15th, Sun will be in opposition to Mars. We'll have the comprehension of how all things are linked and everything is connected. Pursuing our ambitions will be detrimental to nurturing ourselves and others and will bring out our protective side. A gratitude attitude will take you from where you are to where you're wanting to go. So again, January 15th, it even came on the card. Okay, the 15th could be very significant, okay? Understand how everything is linked and how we're all connected. Like there's a reason why I felt inclined to speak how I did at the beginning of the video, but everything's connected. And be in that gratitude attitude, be grateful that you still have your home, being grateful that you still have money, be grateful that you have food, that you're warm, okay, that you have water. You know, there's people who don't, right? And even if you were the people who don't, there's small things that you could be grateful for as well, like your life. Like having each other, like you guys weren't harmed, things like that. January 16th, the moon will be in Virgo. Our intuition will focus on turning to the past to recover lost wisdom and details. It's time to learn and experience something new during this time period. January 17th, the sun will sextile Neptune. We'll receive messages in mystical ways about how we're in another chapter of our lives. So we're removing obstacles, okay? There's going to be many opportunities to remove obstacles in order to pursue our ambitions during this time period. January 18th, Venus will be in conjunction with Saturn and the moon will be in Libra. You will be secure and strong in your pursuits of wanting independence and being unconventional in your relationships and your finances. However, there may be stress as insecurities resurface of not feeling enough, as karmic lessons surrounding our self-value is going to be overcome. Okay, you may struggle with your insecurities this week, but you're going to overcome those. Our intuitive focus will be to bring balance and to seek peace in our relationships. Then on January 19th, so there's a lot of energy towards the very, very end of the week. A lot of energy. So again, practice self-care to keep yourself balanced. There's a lot going on, okay? January 19th, Mercury sextiles Saturn as well as Mercury sextiles Venus. There'll be many opportunities as well as the specific opportunity that we've been waiting for. To take the lead and to be clear and efficient in our communications about our desire to be independent and having freedom in our relationships and finances as we overcome a karmic lesson of self-worth. The sun will also be in Aquarius, which is the detriment sign of the sun, which will be from January 19th to February 18th of 2025. We're going to be reconnecting with the world, wanting freedom for all, not just for ourselves, okay? And then it's also going to be a period of innovation. Again, rebuilding the new. But also on this day, we're going to have an Earth Day Minorid meteor shower peak day. Meteor shower peak days are lucky, but they also foretell events, okay? On this day, this is an auspicious day for the actions of a fanatic whose obsession with the goal as the only way to get fulfillment, with a strong desire to engage physically with life, to be sexually and sensually obsessive due to an overzealous expectation or ambitions for the ones that they love. So getting that kind of information, there's going to be a fanatic here, and they're going to be very, very obsessive with doing something physically, like sexually or sensually with somebody, because they're overzealous with where they want the relationship to go, or they're overambitious with where they want the relationship to go. And right now we're in that Venus and Pisces energy where it's that dreamy love. Like this, to me, it sounds like whoever this is being foretold about, they're in that dreamy love, like where they believe in love is love, right? And they're going to become very, very obsessed with it. And it's going to like reach the news in some kind of way. So FYI, keep yourself safe out there. So the chakra that coincides with this week's energies is the heart chakra. It's our center of relationships, love, and compassion. This week it's like all about compassion. It's come out in the cards. It's coming out just overall as a human being, like seeing other people suffer is compassion, having compassion for other people. But also because we've transmuted a wound into blessings, that means our heart chakra is open to receiving our blessings, okay, our abundances, by practicing self-love, which self-care is self-love, and that's been a message this week. You know, giving yourself more than an hour each day. I know that can be hard, but think of what other things that you do that can encompass an hour time frame, okay, that you could use to taking care of yourself, like meditating, napping, going for a walk, things like that, just getting that silence to center yourself. But it's also like where love can be returned to us because we love ourselves. So the heart chakra affects the physical process involving circulation and respiratory functions. The heart chakra has the electromagnetic field that emanates 5,000 times more powerful than that of the brain. The yang function of this chakra pertains to the relationships with others and what we are giving to the world. The yin function of this chakra is relationships itself and what we are willing to receive from the world, feeling worthy, okay? So during the week, we may feel, it said that we're going to have our insecurities resurface a little bit, feeling worthy of all our blessings, you know. Speaking from experience, it's like if you're very well blessed and other people are going through like natural disasters or calamities, it can make you feel like, well, why do I deserve this when so many are suffering? Well, how you need to think about it and what needs to be thought about is that when you went through your natural disaster or your calamity, other people were being blessed at the time, right? They weren't worried about how unworthy they were while you were getting your blessings. Each person has a different time for when their blessings and their hardships come in their life, okay? It's that whole wheel of fortune. There's time periods where you have blessings and there's time periods where you have stressings, when you have those obstacles and things like that. Many people lose things and then they get something better back, okay? You're at a different point and a different time period of your journey than other people, okay? They could be at a different point in their path and it's meant for them to be in their path. So you being blessed and abundant at this point in time of your life is earned and deserved, okay? You deserve these blessings. You shouldn't feel bad for having them because someone else doesn't, okay? Because at a different point in time in their life, they had blessings when you didn't, right? So everyone has their own path. Everyone has their own like influx of abundance and things like that. Or when they go through hardship, it's just part of each person's path and journey, and it's an individual path for a reason. You go through different things at different times. So just know that, okay? Feel worthy of your blessings. You've earned them. You deserve them. Don't feel unworthy because other people are suffering. Because you've suffered in your life as well when other people are being blessed. Just how it works. Our heart chakra communicates physical and emotional needs through actual physical sensations like heart pains and pangs and emotional tugs. It receives messages from our higher self and guides us through dreams, sending and receiving healing energy. Our heart chakra is essentially living through our heart's desires. fears that stem from this trauma being at an imbalance or malfunctioning is loneliness, commitment, leap of faith, inability to protect oneself emotionally, emotional weakness, and betrayal, like going through betrayals, okay? If this chakra is out of misalignment, problems, addictions that can stem from this chakra being out of misalignment, sugar, wine, and love, okay? And the inability to let go of a finished relationship, again, like towards the end of the week, how it's prophesying somebody just being, who's a fanatic, who's obsessed, who's in that Venus and Pisces energy. Love is love, and love's gonna conquer all, but I don't understand boundaries. I don't understand, like, no, you know. Someone whose heart chakra is closed, okay, is foretold to come forward. But also the heart and circulatory disorders, asthma, bronchitis, pneumonia, and sleep disorders can come if this chakra is blocked, okay? If this chakra is blocked, jealousy, bitterness, anger, hatred, inability to forgive others and oneself. So again, like at the very beginning of this message, it said that the divine wants you to know that this is a time to show compassion and forgiveness to self and others, okay? If you need help putting your chakra at an alignment, okay, you can eat a heart healthy Mediterranean diet and a walk, okay, that'll definitely assist you. You can listen to 432 hertz, that will also assist you. There's also I want to say it's 536 hertz, that will help you. I have a playlist on my YouTube, which I'll attach at the very end of this video, that has all the frequency there and spiritual wisdom to help you to keep yourself balanced during this week or at any time that you may need, okay? Well, guys, this is the end of your video here, the end of your forecast. I hope I was able to provide you some clarity of what to expect this week. Thank you for watching, and if you like my vibe, please like and subscribe. It definitely helps out the channel. Please stay tuned for a brief little snippet of the Dark High Priestess and the Prophecy of the Queen of the Unseen.